Police brutality that was experienced during the anti-government protests last week. The Commission is now calling for urgent investigations and prosecution of perpetrators of torture on innocent Kenyans. Knchr has also urged IPOA to hasten its investigations on the already reported cases of police brutality.
The National Police Service is mandated to maintain law and order while observing and respecting constitutional provisions. Breaking into homes, as was seen in Kisumu and other places, and affecting improper arrests while dispensing brutality and torture infringes upon the rights of citizens and violates their dignity and sanctity of their private spaces. The Commission calls on the police and other security agents to conduct arrests in a lawful and respectful manner, adhering to established procedures and respecting the rights and dignity of individuals. Respect for judiciary presence and dispersal of citizens. The judiciary is an arm of government and an independent institution in Kenya, and its presence must be respected as spaces for the administration of justice. Reports and recorded cases of security agents violently dispersing citizens and journalists within court premises violates the principles of separation of powers and undermines the rule of law. The Commission urges the government to ensure the protection of the judicial spaces and uphold the independence of that judiciary, allowing citizens and journalists to exercise their right to freedom of expression and access to information without fear of intimidation or reprisals. The infringement also affected lawyers and families of the arrested, thus infringing the right to access legal support and access justice. Allegations of abductions. The Commission has received reports of alleged abductions by persons believed to be police officers in the recent past. These events are worrying as the reminders of our dark past, where the security agencies had special squads that would effect such extrajudicial activities. Such practices violate fundamental human rights and erode trust between the police, the state, and its citizens. These incidences must be investigated transparently and impartially, and those found accountable be held responsible, and any individual found involved in those egregious actions should be brought to book.
Now, the Knchr bipartisan team is now calling on the Azimio counterparts to rejoin the talks, insisting that there are key issues to be addressed, top among them the reconstitution of the IEBC. Speaking today afternoon, the co-chair of the team is MP George Gitonga Murugara wants the Otiende Amolo-led faction to declare their stance on whether they will resume the talks or not.
If you recollect very well, we had not vacated the issue on IEBC. We had said it was to be agenda number 1. It had not been discussed, and the selection panel was at liberty to proceed. Remember, we confirmed we were not directing them in any way. We were not giving any orders. We were not making directives or anything. It was for the selection panel to proceed. Fortunately, we have had no developments from that angle. So we believe where we were that time is where we are today, and therefore we can actually rediscuss or reopen the matter if the other side is prepared to come to us. But we will have to confirm whether there has been any steps taken by the selection panel towards recruiting the commissioners. But in the meantime, again, we have said we are prepared to talk, and for the sake of the country, it's important to reiterate that if they come in, we are able to take matters from where they will be. On your side of the talks, to confirm two like us, they are ready for the talks. They have also to confirm when they are actually resuming, when they are coming to the round table, so that we can have the discussion.
Now, a section of Nyalenda slum residents in Kisumu County are recounting the horror they went through under the police on Friday during protests. The locals now say the police were flashing out people from their houses in the name of looking for violent demonstrators. Now, the 3-day anti-government demos last week left behind a trail of destruction and fatal injuries.
Kitu naweza sema, kitu niliona ilifanyika hapa Nyalenda ikuwa mzuri sana, kwa sababu maafisa wa polisi walikuwa wanapiga watu baka kwa boma. Baka jirani yangu walipiga kabisa baka wakavunja. So haikuwa mzuri. Juu hata kukiwa na simu waliona kubeba simu yako wanakupiga, wanakunyang'anya simu na wanapasua hiyo simu. Viongozi wetu kama wanaweza kuweza wakae chini waongee kwa sababu kitu ilitendeka hapa haikuwa kitu mzuri.
Hii maandamano tuandamane tu polepole. Sio maandamano ile ya kupiga watu, kupiga vijana, wanaumiza vijana, watu wanakuwa na injuries, life bullet inapiga. Sasa naomba kama tunaandamana, tuandamane tu polepole. Sio maandamano ya vita, maandamano ya kupigana, watu wanaumia, wanatoa vijana kwa nyumba wanapiga.
Inafaa wasitumie nguvu mingi sana kwetu katika kwetu hapa wananchi. Manake walituumiza sana, watoto waliumia, wamama waliumia mpaka tukashindwa ni shida gani tena. Haikuonyesha picha nzuri sana kutoka kwa mapolisi wetu. Mimi mwito wangu kwenye maandamano inayokuja kwa hiyo Jumatano, bado tuko na hiyo hisia ya kwenda kwenye maandamano. Kisha na sababu tuko na serikali yenye haijakuwa tayari kusikia maoni ya mwananchi. Manake mwananchi wa kawaida anaumia.
Ninaomba tu baba aweze kukaa na Mheshimiwa RUTO, waelewane, maisha iendelee. That is my plea on behalf of these people. But generally, ningependa tu maandamano ikame.
Now, ambassadors, high commissioners and their deputies will soon be required to sign a 2-year memorandum of understanding committing to targets set by the government in a bid to monitor their performance. Now, speaking to Kenyans living in Italy, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua insisted on the need for the officials to realign objectives to ensure the country's business profile improved globally on the top of other diplomatic duties.
The diaspora people are critical in our economic development. Why do I say so? Long time ago, coffee was #1 foreign exchange earner for the country, followed by tea. Then it was overtaken by tourism. As we speak today, the remittances to Kenya from the diaspora bloc is #1 foreign exchange earner for Kenya. Ahead of tourism, ahead of tea, ahead of coffee. So, as I look at you here, I see money for my country. We in Kenya have made a decision to spend money on food production so that our country can be food secure and get surplus to export. So we want to create a diaspora fund guaranteed by the government, similar to treasury bonds and treasury bills, where the people of diaspora can invest back home and you earn interest and good interest, so that as you come home, you are safe.
Now, away from that, a section of learners from Mumias and Butere constituencies in Kakamega County have been forced out of school due to infestation of jiggers. Now, many affected children have been reported to lose concentration in class, and many are unable to engage in day-to-day activities. Now, stakeholders are now urging the government to intervene and set up an anti-jigger fund that will in turn create a better and comfortable environment for learners.
Funza zimeathiri watoto sana huku mashinani. Hili swala la funza, ningeomba sana wahisani wengi wajitokeze, na pia serikali ijitokeze through CHVs huku mashinani, watoe fedha ama watenge fedha ili tuhakikishe kwamba tunasaidia hizi shule, watoto waende shuleni. Maana mtoto akiwa anafunza haizi kuwa na wakati mzuri wa kukaa pale darasani. ambapo mimi napata cases mingi kwa ofisi yangu ya Knchr Care, nitembelee hizi shule ili nitoe watoto funza ndio wakuwe comfortable.
Tatizo la funza ni kero kwa hili shule kwa sababu kuna wanafunzi karibu 25 ambao wanasumbuliwa na hili tatizo. Funza wamesababisha masomo ya hawa watoto kuwa shida sababu hawawezi kuja shuleni kila siku kwa yale maumivu ambayo wanapata. Tunajaribu kuelimisha wazazi wao kuhusu usafi kwa sababu tunajua kwamba uchafu ndio unasababisha funza kushika hawa wanafunzi. Kwa hivyo tumeendelea kutafuta wazazi kutoka kwa maboma tukiwaelimisha, na tunashirikiana na madaktari wetu kutoka hospitali ya Speedy dispensary ambao wanajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba kuna usafi kwa maboma.
Nashukuru kwa mradi wa Knchr Care ambao wametuletea msaada huu. Hatukuwa na dawa lakini nashukuru wameweza kutuletea, tumeweza kutibu watoto. Sana sana tukija hapa shuleni tumekuwa na hilo tatizo la funza. Wanafunzi wetu wamekuwa wakihangaika hata kwa masomo, hawawezi kuchukua makini katika masomo yao kwa sababu ya funza kwenye miguu na kwenye vidole. Kwa hivyo mradi huu umetusaidia, tumeweza kuwatibu tukiwa na ushirikiano na hospitali yetu ya Knchr na madaktari wa Knchr pamoja na madaktari wa vijijini wa CHPs ambao wanashikilia eneo hili. Wameweza kutusaidia katika kutibu.
Ninapoongea kuhusu wanafunzi wangu kuathirika na funza, hakika ni jambo ambalo limetutatiza sana. Kwa mfano, mwaka jana mwezi wa 7 kuna mtoto alishindwa hata kutembea kufika shuleni maana funza zilikuwa zimemwathiri hadi kwenye mapaja. Kwa hivyo safari ya kutembea kuja shule ilimshinda, na kwa hivyo akaamua kubaki nyumbani. Juhudi zetu kujaribu kumtembelea hazikufua dafu kwa sababu mama alituambia hana uwezo wa kumlipia pikipiki, hana uwezo wa kumleta.
Now, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring speedy completion of national government projects. Now speaking in Siaya while visiting the Nzoia irrigation scheme, Forestry Principal Secretary Fantas Kibotho noted that a total of 12,600 registered farmers have so far benefited from irrigation and drainage services in the first phase of the Lower Nzoia irrigation project. Now he further stated that the 3.8 billion shillings project, which is 70% funded by the World Bank, will see the first phase completed by September this year.
This project, as you just said, is expected to be complete by 30th of September. It has two phases. The first phase is what we expect it to be complete by 30th of September. On completion, is going to benefit around 12,600 farmers. The area coverage at the moment it will expand to an area coverage of 10,000 acres. Once the county government are able to help the farmers through the farmers sensitization, and they're able to maximally utilize the 10,000 acres, there is another opportunity of having another 10,000 acres using the same canal, which now that will be like phase 2, which we're also looking forward to that.
Center of this project since its inception to date, and I understand possibly why there has been some delay, and it's good you are working on those delays so that they don't recur, so that we complete this project and we embark on the phase 2. This project is very important to Kenyans because you see now maize has become very expensive. It is making us fight on streets. Now we must think of alternative food, and that will be rice. Therefore, PS, as you go, and as you are creating a bigger land for us to grow rice, then think of making sure that we also have a rice mill. Even if it will come in phase 2, then let's hasten phase 2. Because the 10,000 you are talking about, it is phase 2 that will enable us to get in fact, will be even more than 10,000 acres. We have a lot of land, but it's only under marsh.
What the county government of Siaya intends to do going forward is to build the capacity of farmers by sensitizing them on this particular project, and also building their capacity, and also encouraging farmers to form cooperatives. This is already ongoing, and we are going to strengthen it because the project is about to kick off. And I can assure you the commitment of the county government of Siaya in supporting this project is alive, and it's going to help us to move to the next level.
Now, at least 7,000 youth between the ages of 10 to 24 years in Samburu have undergone training under Ujuzi Mashinani. Now, the project focuses on equipping teenage girls and boys with vocational training. USAID Nawiri Chief of Party Hussein Nur has stated that tackling illiteracy levels and creating employment opportunities is top of the agenda.
Baragoi Artisan Youth Group.
But Ujuzi Mashinani we are targeting about 3,000 young men and adolescent girls between now and September next year. We have spent roughly, I think, an equivalent amount of money of about 20 million or so. But our commitment is that is not the only amount. As mentioned earlier on, overall, that particular target group of 10 to 24 years, between Samburu and Turkana, we are targeting more than 15,000 youth. So you can imagine the target between the two counties. And Samburu, of course, roughly will have half of that. This is roughly about 7,000, about 7,000 youth. The 3,000 is our immediate target of addressing that gap in terms of the set of skills. But then between now and September next year, of course, our target is a lot of these girls either transition back to school or the vocational trainings, or are given a startup to start their own businesses to address malnutrition at household level. Of course, our main target is whatever we do is premised on a foundation of building nutritional outcomes at household level. So Nawiri, of course, supports other models. Someone will ask, why are you leaving the other women above 24? We have a particular model called the graduation model, which targets 3,600 mothers, particularly in Samburu County. And so far we have disbursed 189 million to that group, directly through starting business groups for the 1,200 groups, and giving them what we call consumption stipend during the drought period for 6 months to cushion them against the impact of drought, so that they do not have to eat back the capital investments that we have already done into the business.
A program which is bringing together Turkana youth and Samburu youth who otherwise would be engaged in other activities which would most likely not be peaceful, and it has integrated the youth who otherwise would be fighting. So the program has been really important to us as a peace and coexistence enhancing initiative. Because the young ladies who are from the Turkana communities who you see here, many of them have never come to this side of the town. Many of them have never come or interacted with their Samburu counterparts. Many of them have never even had an opportunity to even know who the other person is from the other community. So this program, in addition to enhancing life skills, which is where the world is going, practical skills, has also greatly helped us bring these youths together.
Brian Amwa is my name. That has been Trending News. See you later. All right. Good. Have yourselves a lovely evening.